checked you don't have pride. Last I checked. Unless you want to tell me something. It's actually the perfect month to be telling me something. I'm here. You're seeing it now? People are so small that you'll be dating, like your friends' exes will be dating each other and yada yada yada. That's
LGBTQIA.
Allies. Let's talk about it. So I'm pretty sure the last time that you heard anything about an ally, it was way back when in high school, when we were talking about like the World War I and stuff, and there was like the French allies and the British allies and all of that. But that's not what we're talking about. I'm not here to school you on history. I don't have time for that. I barely remember the facts of that one. Actually, I'm lying. I passed history. I do remember the facts. I still do. They engraved them in my mind. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're going to be talking about the people who don't have pride. Right? It is still Pride Month and everything. June has not ended that quickly. Sorry to the homophobes out there. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. But we will be talking about the people who aren't prideful. Right? Our straight people. Right? I have a quick question before we get into the episode. Why are you straight? What are you still doing straight in 2023? That's such a childish sexuality to have. Come on. I'm sorry. Let me not be hostile. I know you guys. Oh, you see, so we're talking about you gay people like to, shove stuff down our throats. Just want us all to be like you. No, that's not the case. Because then we wouldn't be talking about what we're about to talk about. I'm here to help you out if you're an ally to somebody who's in the prideful community out there on how to be more of an ally. Like I'm here to give you advice, right? And I'm gonna start off with this post that I actually saw earlier today. So basically, if you guys remember that show, the one with the bionic kids. What was its name?
Labrats.
Yeah, Labrats! Thank you, Miss Manager, ma'am. Yes. So if you remember Labrats, there was the little boy, his name was Leo, right? Him. So he's now not so little anymore. He's grown a lot, actually. And I saw a post earlier today talking about how he felt his brother has been his biggest supporter in terms of being an ally to him. For those of you who didn't know, he's also part of us. He's part of the Skittle Society. And here's what he had to say. So I'm going to read this over my phone. If you don't like it, sorry. But I'm going to do what I want because it's my phone. Thanks. So, I love seeing people realize the caliber of person my older brother is. He's always been like this. He's genuinely one of my favorite people. Because y'all need to hear this. The way he handled my and our younger brothers coming out should have been studied. He completely deconstructed his views on masculinity and made sure to build spaces for us to be comfortable and seen until we were ready to tell our friends and family. He read, recommended, and then discussed bell books like We Listen Cool and The Will to Change with us. Listened to our problems, gave advice when he had it, and was honest and empathetic when he didn't. We all rebuilt our definition of manhood together, brick by brick, and it was not easy work, but we weren't doing it alone. That is gender affirming care. Someone allowing you space, not only express, but discover yourself, who supports that discovery without making it about themselves or the ideologies of people who have never mattered in the first place, helping you find and access resources, and then stepping back to let you engage with them however you need to, because your identity is your business. One of the many joys of queerness that isn't talked about nearly enough is the act of complete reconstruction of one's ego. What you are is not what you've been conditioned to believe. So, you get to create yourself in your own image outside any arbitrary societal constructs or expectations, to not just think outside the box, but to discover the great deception of our patriarchal society. There was never a box to begin with. We taught each other how big the world can be when you decide for yourself who and what you are, what is authentic to you, and that is how you be an ally. So, I want to give Ty his flowers this Pride Month, a true representation of healthy masculinity and effective allyship. Give him all the awards forever. Do y'all hear that? This man just said his brother took the time when he came out to sit down, take away his own personal thoughts of what being prideful was. He took away his own personal thoughts of, okay, this is what I've grown up knowing, right? I think the majority of us grow up being told that you're straight, the default is straight, that all you can ever be is straight. It's man and woman, it's Adam and Eve. There's no Adam and Steve. That's kind of how we were all brought up, right? And now, his brother took the time to decide, no. And as much as this is what I've been taught, this is what I've been raised to believe, it's not just about Adam and Eve, right? This is my brother who's coming to me and he's telling me, this is who I am. He's not asking for permission to be who he is, he's telling me, this is who I am. And then he said, okay, this is who you are. I want to know more about who you are, right? So he accepted that. He said, okay, I'm going to be with you. He read books and discussed them with his brothers. Guys, how many other people out there, when you come out, are they going to sit there and be like, hey, I'm going to read this book to understand where you're coming from. I want you to listen to this to understand where you're coming from. A lot of the time, they want you to answer all of these questions. And the funny thing is, people don't seem to understand that just because I'm queer doesn't mean I know everything. Right? I don't automatically know everything about being queer. And yet all these questions are thrown onto me. But now somebody else who's willing to be an ally to you is willing to sit down and look at, okay, there's a book out there. I understand that this person who's coming to me, this loved one of mine is coming to me and they're telling me this, but they can't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. You could ask me today about people who are transgender and I wouldn't have all the answers, right? In that way, I'm an ally too. Not because I'm not queer, but because I'm not trans. I don't have that experience. I don't know what it's like to be trans. I don't know what it is to feel the feelings that they feel before they decide that one day they're going to transition, for example. I don't have that knowledge. I don't have that experience. I don't have any of these things. But I can take the time out to read about trans people and figure out what it is that they go through, how they get there. Like, did you know years ago, before you could even identify as trans, you had to be diagnosed with body dysmorphia? Can you imagine having to prove yourself to a therapist or a psychiatrist for weeks on end that, no, this is how I feel? And then finally they can be like, okay, we've diagnosed you with body dysmorphia, right? And then you can go about the whole process of being trans. I can't imagine having to do all of that. But it's a thing that's been done. It's not the same now, to be quite honest. Things have changed. If tomorrow I were to wake up and feel like, you know what, I'm a man, I could start to identify as a trans man. And I could go and I could get the necessary help if I wanted to go on testosterone and all of that. But it wasn't that easy before. And that's why today we're talking about being an ally. Because it's not always been that easy. Right? Let's face facts. If you've ever read the book Animal Farm, you would know that the moral of the story, in as much as they don't tell you this, so I'm helping you right now. The moral of the story is some animals are more equal than others. In this world, let's not forget, by the way, we are animals. If you all didn't know, we are mammals. If you all did not know. But in this world, some animals are more equal than others. So human beings are the most equal when it comes to the humans, and then there's dogs and pigs and cats and all of that, right? Amongst humans, the most equal would be your white males. And I know people are not going to like the sound of that, but it is true. Because when you look at the hierarchy, right, if you look at how things are, if 6 different people were to apply for the same job, the first person to get it will probably be the white male, and then the white female, and then, you know, all these other people, until you finally get down to black, queer, female. It's just kind of how it works. I'm not trying to call out companies or whatever. I'm just saying that's just kind of how it is. That's how they look at things. And then they're all applying for the same job, and they're not even going to get paid the same because of the color of their skin, the genitalia, and who they like to touch when they pee. Like, it's weird. I don't get it. I'm never going to understand it, because quite honestly, it has nothing to do with you. It is not your business. My queerness is not your business. Your straightness is none of my business. You ain't gonna see me go up to a straight person and be like, so, why do you like men if you're a woman, for example, right? Like, I don't think I've ever gotten to the point where I seriously asked the question. Like, I might have made a joke about it, but I don't think you'll ever hear of me going, why do you like men? Actually, no, like, let's talk about it. What's so appealing about men? So how do you have sex? How do you know, who's the man in the relationship? Who's the woman in the relationship? You're never gonna catch me. How do you assign gender roles in those relationships? I've never done that, right? Because it's none of my business. I don't care what my manager's doing out there with whoever she's doing it with. You don't see me going, have I ever asked you what gender roles are in your relationships?
No.
Because I don't have any business there. What she's doing in her bedroom is not going to affect what we do here, right here, when we're filming. You get me? Even if tomorrow is to change and she's like, yo, I've decided, or I feel in my heart that I want to be trans, or I am trans, I'm going to be like, okay, how can I best support you? Because that's the best I can do. I'm not going to look at you and, are you sure about this? No, but you know what the Bible says? No, but da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Why am I giving no buts? For what? What am I doing inside me? I'm not her. I don't know what she feels inside. Right? I don't know if I made this analogy last week, but it's an analogy I will make over and over again until the point is made. Right? Imagine you're in a sweater that is itchy. Right? And you have to wear it from the morning to the evening, from evening into your blankets at night, till the next morning, every day. Until. You're not going to be comfortable. You're going to be scratching all the time. You're going to want to take it off so that you're comfortable. And that's likely what you're going to do. You're going to take it off. So you can be comfortable, right? But keep in mind, people who haven't come out yet are still wearing that ugly, itchy sweater every day. They are living within skin that doesn't feel comfortable for them because they aren't able to live their truth. Because of how we as a society treat them. Not just as a society, because of how the support systems they're meant to have treat them. Imagine you are at home and you can hear your mom screaming at the TV, or not screaming at the TV per se, but making crude jokes or crude remarks about 2 women kissing, or 2 men, or a woman deciding that they want to live their truth and become a man. And now you're hearing, this one's going to go to hell. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Automatically you're going to be like, I can't come out. My mom is going to look at me and be like, go to hell. That's why a lot of people are in the closet. They're not in environments that feel safe enough to accept them, right? If we're being honest, it's the same way. I've preached about this before to my friends, sometimes on my WhatsApp status, but y'all don't have my number. And I was talking at some point about how you can't expect yourself to be a true friend to other people when you're constantly saying things like, oh, I could never be friends with somebody who's depressed. Why are you bringing your sad vibes around me? And then I'm like, okay, imagine you're saying this in front of like a group of people, and some of those people are your friends. And what if they're battling depression and at some point they thought, okay, I want to go and tell this person about it. They can't anymore because they heard you say that. And now they feel like, I can't talk to this person because I'm about to bring my bad mood around them. When that shouldn't be the case. You should be able to go up to your friend and say, hey, are you okay? Are you going through anything? Can I support you? Can I sit with you? Can we just talk? Can we just sit here together? Even if it's in silence? Do you wanna cry? Do you wanna... If there's one thing about me, when my friends are going through anything, the first thing I'm going to do is try and offer some sort of support, right? So whether that's us sitting on a phone call and we're silent, whether that's me offering to come to you or saying come to me and we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will offer to cook for you. I will offer hugs and kisses and all the support in the world because that's what you're meant to do as an ally. The same way you treat your friends, the ones that you actually like, that should be the same way you treat the people around you when it comes to their queerness. Treat them nicely. Don't treat them like they're some alien who's come from outer space. Treat them like they're a human being asking for your help, because that's exactly what they are. You, as a straight person, have this ability, you don't know yet, but you have this ability to make the playing field just a little bit more even. And you can do that in so many different ways. Why are you comfortable hearing your own friends talk about somebody else who's queer in a way that is derogatory, in a way that is demeaning, in a way that is harmful and hurtful? Even if your friend that is queer isn't around, why are you comfortable letting that conversation happen? You're not an ally. And then you want to go back to your friend and be like, no, I am your ally. You're not my ally. You sat there and you heard Nicholas and James talk about, oh, if I ever hear about her, I was about to swear, and I don't want to swear because that's not nice. Let's try to keep this a little bit family friendly. But if I ever hear about a girl who's dating other women, I'm gonna show her exactly what it is that she's missing. Why are you comfortable sitting and listening to that conversation? And I'm talking about things that I've heard before. I have heard guys, to be quite frank, and I'm not going to mince my words here, I have heard guys say that they would rape a lesbian just to show them what they're missing. Because, no, they just haven't gotten it right. What do you mean by that? How do you know? First of all, your entire gender is struggling to make women come in bed. Y'all don't seem to know what you're doing. And then you want to go and say, let me give it to her right. What? What are you giving to me right? Trauma? Now I have to sit about which one, you took the privilege of consent away from me in an attempt to correct my gayness. 2, you were shit at it too. Like, come on. Why? Make it make sense. What does it have to do with you? Genuinely speaking, what does it have to do with you? Do you know how many gay men are assaulted in the world? Every day? Just for being gay? Just because someone else's fragile masculinity could not handle someone else's choices and their lifestyle. Wait. It's like racism. You hear me? It's like racism If you get what I'm trying to say. Because it has nothing to do with you, actually, when you think about it. Like, when you actually sit down and you really, really look at it, someone's race has nothing to do with you. Somebody's tone of skin has nothing to do with you, but you have a problem with it. White people had big problems with it, to the point where, at some point, we couldn't be in the same room as them. It's the same thing. To this day, so many countries don't even allow gay men to donate blood. To this day. Why? What's so different? Do we bleed a different red? And scientifically, when we're looking at the facts, I will not lie, I can see where they're coming from. But at the same time, they're so harsh about it, and you can see it's coming from a point of hatred. Because when you talk about it and you're like, you know what, listen, here's the thing. We want our gay men out there to support and donate blood where needed, because let's face it, right now in the country I live in, there's a shortage of blood in the blood banks, right? So you would think you'd want it from everywhere, anywhere you can get it. But the thing is, they're not nice about how they're talking about it. But if you're honest and you're nice enough to say, hey, we can't accept blood from men who sleep with men because they're at a higher risk, they're at a higher risk of carrying a sexually transmitted infection. And you're nice about it, and you talk about it properly, and you say, hey, this is what the problem is. It's not that we don't want your blood, it's what you might have in your blood. This is why I say, carry on a screening. Accept the blood, maybe. And here's the funny thing. Y'all do realize that if you donate, that hasn't ended anything. Maybe just accept the blood and then later on test it. Because if y'all don't know, either way, they're going to test the blood regardless. They test it. If I donate today, they're going to test it. If my manager donates today, they're going to test it. If my gay best friend is going to donate today, they're going to test it. But the thing is, they don't know who each of us is. They're just going to test the blood. So why do you want to have such an issue? Who? Why? Where? So here's how to be an ally. 1, mind your business. If you have nothing else to say, don't say anything at all. That's for the homophobes out there. That is the best thing you can do. Now, for those of you who aren't homophobic and you actually want to be there for your friends, when they do come to you and they tell you about what they're going through or who they are, be kind, be gracious. It's really that simple. I mean, there's more steps. I'm going to get into those in just a little bit. There's more to it, but be kind and be gracious. Accept them with open and loving arms. Right? Like the example I gave earlier. If my manager today decides that she's no longer straight, which God I'm still praying for, by the way, and she says to me, hey Nika, this is who I am. I am asexual, for example. I am pansexual. I am bisexual. I am just queer. You know what my first thought's going to be? Finally, but like other than finally, it's going to be like, okay. And are you comfortable with letting other people know about this? Would you like me to just keep this to myself? That's one of the first things I'm going to do. Because you also have to understand, is this person ready to come out to all the other people out there? That's one of the first questions. Are you comfortable with talking about this with other people? My first question is going to be, have you consulted your pastor? Are you sure? That's the worst thing you can ever ask anybody. Also, never ask them if they're sure. For them to come to you to say that, they already know. They've probably been battling this for months. So don't go and say, are you sure? Don't make them unsure. They're sure. They know what they like. Just offer support, comfort. Okay, do you need anything from me? Would you like me to help you in coming out to the other people out there? What kind of support can I offer you? Ask your friends what kind of support you can offer them. because this is what's killing our youth. We're not nice to each other. We're not gracious to each other. We're not showing compassion to each other. And then we get shocked one day when we hear that somebody has committed suicide. And yet we were actually being really, 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 really rude. To be quite frank, we were being bitches. And then we get shocked. Oh, but she was so happy. She wasn't happy. She just pretended to be happy because she couldn't show you that she wasn't. Be a safe space for your friends. Another way you can be an ally. Don't allow hurtful conversation to happen. Whether the friend is around or not around, if you care about somebody, don't let them be slandered. The same way, a lot of people have this protectiveness over their parents, right? Especially their moms. Yeah, that's not to say everybody, but some people, most people do. The same way people are like, what'd you say about my mama? You should carry that same energy when it comes to your friend. Like, what'd you say about my friend? Because why are they saying things about your friend? Why are they saying things about anybody who's queer? I preach kindness. I preach happiness. I preach all the good things. Because everybody deserves to be helped. Everybody deserves to be appreciated. Everybody deserves grace. Give your friends some grace. Give your friends some kindness. And you're already the best ally that they could have. Don't believe me? Ask them. Ask. Show them this episode. And ask, was she lying? Is she just saying nonsense because she can? I'm probably not. I know I'm not. But I just want you to hear it for yourself. Just be nice. Be a better human being. Not just to the people who are queer, to everybody. Be kind to everybody. You don't know what they're going through behind closed doors. You don't know what demons people are facing. You don't know what tears are being cried at 3 a.m. So when you see them out in public, be kind. It's that simple. Thank you so much for listening to me this week. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I appreciate your presence as always. Here you go. Now you know how to be an ally going into this Pride Month. Remember what I said today? If I get you up there and you're not being nice, we're doing like this. We are fighting. Alright, I will see you all. I will hear you all. I will talk to you all next week.